Ask Reddit, what are some harmless ways to fuck with people? My dad used to have this game with a friend. They embarrassed me endlessly when I was a teen, but that was a bonus. Basically, when they were walking in the street, whenever they were passing someone, they would say things like, "Remember, when you pushed your mother-in-law down the stairs?" Or, "I mean, it wasn't that much drug, usually I carry way more than that." Or, "Where did you hide the knife after stabbing him?" You get the idea, anything absolutely awful, as if they were having an entire conversation about drugs, murder, whatever. My dad and his friend had the whole hippie look as well, so innocent passers-by would quickly cross the street. Oh man, do I have a story. In my freshman year of college, my roommate was a very neat and orderly person. He had every pencil in place, every paper had a folder, and his things got neatly packed away. We were pretty amicable towards one another, even with my messy living. At first, when he would leave for classes, would admire how tidy his desk was and thought to myself, I should fuck with that. For the whole year we lived together, I would sneak use staples everywhere on his stuff. Homework folder, staple. Pencil case, staple. Backpack, staple. Shower caddy. You bet that pub-infested bar of soap got a staple on it. Hell, even the TV remote got a staple in it between the batteries, so when they died he would eventually find another. I did it often, but was careful to space the staple events far enough apart to not raise suspicion on myself. I further protected myself by making a huge deal of having to borrow the across-the-hall neighbor's stapler whenever I needed to bind papers together. About March of our second semester, he had become insanely suspicious of anybody with a stapler and watched them like a hawk. The straw that broke the camel's back, had asked him one night what his plans were under the guise of having a companion over for a visit. He said after dinner he had to go check out some obscure book at the library. When he left and headed to the dining hall, I snuck off to the library, found the obscure book he needed, and clicked a staple into it. He gets back to the dorm room and I'm doing homework in the same spot when he had left an hour earlier, claiming the meetup didn't end up happening. He sits down at his desk and opens up his newly rented book, and I hear that staple fall out onto his desk. All I hear after that is, "Why oh, where the fuck all these goddamn staples coming from?" I revealed myself after graduation when I mailed him a birthday card with a used staple in it. Thankfully he got the biggest kick out of the card and we still talk daily. TLDR, I put used staples in, on, and around my roommate's things. When you shake someone's hand, move yours left to right. As they do the traditional up and down, a hilarious circle ensues. I can't believe I've never thought of this. Totally left/right hand shaking from now on. If I know someone is walking a little ways behind me and I turn a corner with nobody else around, I like to run 10 to 20 steps to widen the gap and then laugh to myself, thinking that the person behind me will be confused. I doubt anyone ever notices, but I get a kick out of it every time. I was talking with a supervisor and I happened to have like 4 hard-boiled eggs in my jacket pocket for lunch. So while talking with stuff, I took out an egg, cracked and shelled it and ate it. The conversation kept going, so I did it again, but I could see he was growing quizzical. I waited a few more minutes, pulled out another and ate that too. By then I could tell he was like, WTF. The conversation was wrapping up, so I pulled the last one out and he stopped mid-conversation and asked me, "How many $King eggs do you have?" I just shrugged, shelled, and then ate the last egg. My neighbor got an expensive new camera for his front door. Randomly, for the last several months, I have covered myself in a black cloak, including face, crawled up into camera view, and left a random harmless object. A carrot, spool of thread, 3 ink pens with the caps mixed up, dumb meaningless things. On camera, a dark shape appears and disappears, leaving a random object behind. It is driving his silly ass crazy. My grandpa does this thing where he stops in the busy street and starts staring into the sky as if he's seen something amazing. It doesn't take long for other people to stop and stare too. Once he reaches critical mass, he quietly slips away chuckling to himself. Edit. He's in his 90s now, but when he was a teenager he was a bit of a young tearaway and had a pet monkey, which is weird considering this was the UK. Edit 2. Holy crap, this blew up overnight. And on my cake day too. While going up the chairlift at a ski resort, my friend and I would call out to someone under the chairlift, call them a random name and yell, "We'll wait for you at the top." Usually the person would spend time trying to explain to us they weren't who we thought they were. We'd act like we couldn't hear them and insist we'd wait for them at the top.